Imagine being in the middle of a storm. The wind roars, chaos reigns around you, and the waves threaten to pull you under. While others panic and lose control, you remain firm, unshaken, serene. In that moment, you realize something powerful. Calmness is not weakness, it is mastery. It is not passivity, it is strategy. The greatest leaders, the wisest thinkers, and the most feared warriors in history all had one thing in common: an unshakable mind in the most critical moments. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire during times of war without losing his clarity. Epictetus, born a slave, found freedom through the mastery of his thoughts. Seneca transformed adversity into strength. How did they do it? Through Stoicism, the philosophy that teaches you to stay calm when the world is falling apart. Today, you will discover 12 essential Stoic lessons that can change your life. You will learn to control your emotions, make better decisions, and move towards success without fear, anger, or uncertainty pulling you off course. The difference between failure and greatness does not lie in what happens around you, but in how you respond to it. If you have ever felt overwhelmed by problems, trapped by anxiety, or paralyzed by uncertainty, this video is for you, because true strength is not found in physical power or luck, but in the ability to remain calm when everything seems lost. Get ready for a journey into the wisdom of the ancient Stoics and discover how mental tranquility can be your most powerful weapon on the path to success. Let's begin. Your mind is the only thing you truly own. Imagine everything you have disappearing in an instant: your job, your home, your material possessions. What remains? Your mind is the only thing that is truly yours, the one thing no one can take away from you. The Stoics understood that the key to a strong and resilient life does not lie in controlling the external world, because that is impossible, but in learning to control our thoughts, emotions, and reactions. Epictetus made it clear: it is not things themselves that disturb us, but the opinions we have about them. This means that it is not the crisis that affects you, but how you choose to interpret it. It is not failure that brings you down, but your attitude toward it. Your mind is the filter through which you experience the world. If you train it to see opportunities where others see obstacles, you will turn every challenge into a stepping stone towards success. Staying calm is not weakness, it is a demonstration of power. While others panic, you analyze. While others complain, you look for solutions. True strength does not lie in aggression or impulsive reactions, but in the ability to remain serene when everything seems to be falling apart. It is in these moments that leaders are forged, that winners distinguish themselves from the rest. You cannot control the weather, the traffic, or what others think of you, but you can control your attitude toward all of it. And in this simple choice, between losing your head or maintaining your composure, lies the true path to success. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. Pain is a part of life. There is no way to avoid it. Losing someone you love, failing in a project, facing betrayal, all of these hurt. But suffering is not in the event itself. It is in how you choose to face it. The Stoics understood that pain is merely a signal, a message from reality that we cannot ignore. However, what we do with that message is what truly defines our strength. Epictetus said, "It is not in our power to avoid external events, but to choose the attitude with which we face them." If you cling to pain, if you feed it with negative thoughts, you sink into suffering. But if you accept it as part of life, as a teacher with something to teach you, you become stronger. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" Every adversity carries a lesson, and within that lesson lies your growth. The difference between someone who crumbles and someone who rises again is in their approach. While some are paralyzed by fear and despair, others use pain as fuel to keep moving forward. The key is to abandon resistance, to accept reality without dramatization or self-pity. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can decide how to respond. And in that choice lies your power. Character is forged in difficulty. True strength is not born in comfort, but in adversity. Look at history, and you will see that the greatest leaders, philosophers, and conquerors did not emerge from easy lives, but from trials that pushed them to their limits. Difficulty is not a punishment. It is a tool for transformation. Marcus Aurelius, emperor and Stoic philosopher, ruled during times of crisis, war, and plague. Instead of complaining about his circumstances, He wrote in Meditations, "The obstacle to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, obstacles are not walls, they are steps. When life hits you, you have two choices. See yourself as a victim or see yourself as a warrior. The first choice drowns you in complaints and self-pity. The second forces you to evolve, to find solutions, and to strengthen your character. Ask yourself, how can I turn this trial into my strength? What quality can I develop from this challenge? Patience, self-discipline, temperance. Every hardship you face is an opportunity for growth. Do not fear adversity. Embrace it as training. It is in struggle that you define who you are and who you can become. The next time life tests you, do not run. Face the challenge because beside it lies the best version of yourself. Do not chase happiness, seek tranquility. Most people spend their lives chasing happiness as if it were a final destination. They believe that when they have more money, recognition, or success, they will finally be happy. But happiness is fleeting. It is an emotion that rises and falls like ocean waves, always dependent on something external, a victory, a person, a favorable situation. The Stoics understood that the true goal is not happiness, but tranquility. While happiness is a fleeting rush of euphoria, tranquility is a deep state of inner peace that remains even in the midst of the storm. It is not about living without emotions, but about not being a slave to them. Seneca wrote, "True happiness is enjoying the present without anxious dependence on the future." When you free yourself from the need for everything to be perfect, when you stop tying your well-being to things beyond your control, you discover something far more powerful than happiness: serenity. Living calmly does not mean giving up. It means understanding that inner peace is worth more than any fleeting pleasure. It means stopping the search for external validation and finding fulfillment in balance. You do not need more things to be happy. You need less mental noise, less attachment to the uncontrollable, less struggle against reality. True happiness is not in what you possess, but in how you choose to perceive life. 5. Control your impulse to react. Impulsive reactions are responsible for many of our mistakes, whether in an argument, a moment of frustration, or when something goes wrong. The natural tendency is to respond immediately, without thinking. But in those moments of impulse, the decisions we make are rarely the wisest. The Stoics understood that control over our reactions is crucial for mental peace and success. Epictetus taught that we cannot choose the events that happen to us, but we can choose how we respond. True strength lies not in how quickly we react, but in the calmness with which we respond. Imagine someone insults you. The immediate impulse is to defend yourself, to respond with anger, or even to attack. But if you take a moment to breathe and observe the situation, you give yourself the chance to respond more wisely. Calmness gives you the necessary time to consider all the options and choose the best one. It's not about being passive or submissive, but about preventing momentary emotions from dictating your behavior. The next time you feel the urge to react immediately, stop and breathe. Take a pause. Reflect on what is truly at stake and consciously decide how to proceed. Calmness in those moments will give you a decisive advantage and allow you to make more rational decisions without later regrets. 6. Nothing external can harm you without your consent. Life is full of people who will try to criticize you, offend you, or harm you in various ways. But what many fail to understand is that nothing external has the power to harm you unless you allow it. True freedom lies in the moment you stop giving others control over your inner peace. Seneca said, "Adversity does not strike us. What strikes us is our reaction to it." Insults, betrayal, even injustice are just events, and their power lies only in how you choose to receive them. If you allow an insult to upset you, you are surrendering your tranquility to another person. If you cling to resentment over a betrayal, you make yourself a prisoner of that emotion. The Stoics taught that the only real power we have is over our minds and our responses. The external world is full of elements beyond our control, but we can always choose how to react to them. It's not about ignoring pain, but not allowing pain to rule your life. The key is to maintain calm and practice wisdom instead of impulsively reacting with anger or sadness. Choose a rational approach. Reflect before acting. Consider if that offense is truly worth affecting you. Remember, you are the only one responsible for your inner peace. When you stop giving power to what is external, you become the absolute master of your well-being. 7. Every day is a new opportunity to improve. Often we wait for the perfect moment to start changing, as if we need a sign or a transcendent event to take the first step. But this mentality is a mistake. There is no perfect day to begin. Perfection never comes, and waiting only prolongs the opportunity for growth. The truth is that every sunrise is an opportunity to improve, not through a grand change, but through small, daily actions. The Stoics knew that the key to a fulfilled life wasn't waiting for ideal circumstances, but making the most of what we have now. As Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you respond to what happens that matters." Every day is a blank page, and you control what you write on it. No matter what happened yesterday, the only moment that truly matters is the present. Calm and progress come when you stop looking in the mirror of the past, lamenting what you didn't do. If you've made mistakes, don't punish yourself. The past can't be changed, but the present is full of potential. Think of the small actions you can take today. A difficult conversation you'll face, a habit you'll commit to starting, a small daily victory. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. True peace comes when you know that, despite difficulties, you are not stagnant. You are constantly evolving. Make the most of the present. Success is not something found in a distant future, but in what you do each day to get closer to your best version. 8. The fear of death is a waste of life. Death is the only certainty we all share, yet we often face it with fear, trying to avoid it. However, this fear is mostly a waste of life. By focusing on what is inevitable, we rob ourselves of the opportunity to live fully. The Stoics, like Seneca, understood that the fear of death is not only irrational, but it prevents us from enjoying the present. In his letter to Lucilius, Seneca said, "It is not that we have little time, but that we waste a lot of it." The fear of death makes us feel that there is a distant future we must protect at all costs, when in reality, the only thing we truly possess is the present moment. Our mortality frees the mind. Instead of paralyzing ourselves with the idea that everything will one day end, we can use this awareness to live with courage and purpose. Life becomes richer when we understand that each moment is precious because it is limited. Every day is an opportunity to live more authentically, without letting fear dictate our actions. Calmness comes when we accept death as part of the life cycle, not something to fear. When we stop living in fear of what will inevitably happen, we begin to live fully with every action, word, and thought aligned with a true purpose. Live with the awareness that the only thing certain is the present, and seize every moment with courage. 9. Being admired is not the same as being virtuous. We live in a society that often values external appearance more than a person's true essence. Admiration from others, public validation, fame, these have all become metrics of success. But Stoicism teaches us that this is not true greatness. Being admired does not equate to being virtuous, and we should not confuse external appearance with internal quality. Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, constantly reminded us that virtue is the path to true greatness. True greatness is not found in the gaze of others, but in the character we cultivate in our solitude. He said, "Living by firm principles, acting with integrity, and doing what is right even when no one is watching is what truly defines us as individuals. When we base our actions on external approval, we become slaves to the expectations of others. This limits us, makes us dependent, and distances us from our true nature. True freedom lies in acting based on conviction, not for recognition. A Stoic does not seek rewards or applause, but strives to live an integral life, aligned with their values and principles. Greatness is measured by the quality of your character, not the quantity of followers or praise you receive. Being virtuous may not always be popular, but it is what will bring you true inner peace. Admiration can be fleeting, but integrity is what truly endures. True success is self-discipline. In a world full of distractions and quick fixes, the true key to success lies in self-discipline. Many people think success is about luck or stumbling upon the perfect opportunity, but what really sets apart those who achieve their goals is the ability to stay focused and consistent, even when there is no immediate reward. The Stoics knew that self-discipline is not just a virtue, but a way of life. As Seneca teaches, it's not that we have little time, but that we waste much of it. Time, this limited resource, is the foundation upon which we build our lives. If we don't use it with discipline, we'll never reach what we truly want. Self-discipline is the strength to resist immediate temptations for greater long-term rewards. It's the ability to say no to fleeting pleasures and prioritize what truly matters: your goals, your growth, and your purpose. A Stoic doesn't let momentary impulses control them, but instead builds habits that take them closer to the life they want, regardless of how tough or uncomfortable they may be. True success isn't something achieved overnight, but is built day by day through consistent decisions. Keep your goals clear, set routines that move you toward them, and avoid the trap of instant gratification. Self-discipline allows you to achieve what others see as impossible, transforming desire into action and action into results. Master your desires before they master you. Desires are part of human nature, but if we don't control them, they become destructive forces, pulling us away from what truly matters. Stoicism teaches that true freedom doesn't come from satisfying every impulse, but from mastering them. If you don't control your desires, they will control you, leading to impulsive decisions and a chaotic life. Epictetus clearly said, "Do not seek to satisfy your desires, but to dominate them." We live in a society that constantly pushes us to want more material things, more recognition, more pleasure. But the real challenge is distinguishing between what we truly need and what's just a passing whim. Mastering desires doesn't mean depriving yourself of everything, but adopting an attitude of moderation. Happiness isn't found in instant gratification, but in the inner peace that comes from living in harmony with what's essential. True serenity comes when we say no to excess and focus on what helps us grow. When you control your desires, you become the master of your life. You stop being a slave to them and begin living with purpose, aligned with your values. True freedom comes when you release yourself from external demands and dedicate yourself to what truly nourishes your well-being. Ego is your worst enemy. Ego, that inner voice telling you that you already know everything or that you're better than others, is one of the biggest barriers to personal growth. It keeps you from listening, learning, and most importantly, accepting constructive criticism. Stoicism teaches that ego is an illusion, a wall that makes us believe we're self-sufficient when there's always room to improve. Seneca warned, "He who thinks himself wise has already lost his wisdom." Ego blinds you, traps you in a narrow view, and prevents you from evolving. When you feel superior, growth stops. Arrogance leads to stagnation, while humility opens new doors. Accepting criticism, even when uncomfortable, is one of the most powerful actions for progress. It doesn't mean being humiliated, but recognizing that we all have room to improve. The Stoics practiced humility as the path to true wisdom. Only those who admit their ignorance and remain open to new ideas can achieve real success. Letting go of ego means accepting that we'll never be perfect, that there's always something to learn and always room for improvement. Greatness doesn't lie in perfection, but in the willingness to keep growing. True success isn't about external approval, but about the inner peace of knowing that we're always moving forward on the path of self-improvement. The world is full of chaos, but you don't have to be part of it. In this video, we explored 12 powerful Stoic lessons that can change the way you approach life. Calm is not passivity, it is power, the ability to act with intelligence rather than react with uncontrolled emotions. If this video was helpful to you, subscribe for more content on Stoicism and personal growth. Like and share it with anyone who needs to find peace in their life. And now, let me know in the comments, which lesson will you apply first? See you in the next video.